AI is scoring 100% on medical licensing exam. Models are outperforming radiologists on benchmark tests. The headlines are screaming that AI is ready to revolutionize healthcare. But here's what they're not telling you. The same systems can guess the right answers even when critical medical images are completely removed. Now, that's kind of a problem, right? So they're passing tests using the same tricks that students use to cheat, not actual medical reasoning. Today I'm going to expose why these impressive benchmark scores are hiding a dangerous truth, and especially when we're messing around with medical. And this is why it matters for everyone building or using AI systems. So we're going to dive into this today. Welcome to Starter Pack. I'm Spencer, and here at Starter Pack, we love to build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. So medical AI looks ready on paper, but a groundbreaking study that I'm going to show you here just ripped the curtain back to show us the real story. Now, models that ace exams are actually relying on test-taking shortcuts, not medical knowledge. This is what I've been talking about here when I've been talking about cheating these benchmarks for a while. So let's break down what's really happening when AI understands, in air quotes, the medicine here. So let's jump over here and take a look at some of these. So the illusion of readiness, stress testing larger frontier models on multimodal medical benchmarks. So large frontier models like GPT-5 now achieve top scores on medical benchmarks, but there's a big but here. Not that kind of big but. Our stress tests tell a different story. Leading systems often guess correctly when key inputs like images are removed, flip answers under trivial prompt changes, and fabricate convincing yet flawed reasoning. These aren't glitches. They expose how today's benchmarks reward test-taking tricks over medical understanding. Now, guys, I'm not making this up. This is peer-reviewed. This is, from Cornell. Like, this is legit stuff, right? Now, the study is not from Cornell, but this is where this is posted, right? So at the end here, if we want AI to earn trust in healthcare, we must demand that more leaderboards demand more than leaderboard wins, and must hold systems accountable for robustness, sound reasoning, and alignment with real medical demands. Now, Rohan Paul here, as always, because Rohan Paul's a stud here. Like, if you definitely aren't following Rohan Paul on X, you definitely should be. If you're not on X, then I don't know. Not on X, you should get on X, and you should definitely make one of the first people to follow Rohan Paul. But he's like, bad news for medical AI models. Massive revelation from this Microsoft paper. Current medical AI models may look good on standard medical benchmarks, but these scores do not mean that models can handle real medical reasoning. The key point is that many models pass tests by exploiting patterns in the data, not by actually combining medical text with images in a reliable way. The key findings is that models overuse shortcuts, break under small changes, and produce unfailing reasoning. This makes the medical AI model benchmark results misleading if someone assumes a high score means the model is ready for real medical use. So he goes through and he breaks this all down, right? Some models keep scoring accuracy even when the images are removed. Now, I want you to think about that. So it's like they're testing it and they actually haven't even given it the image, and based on just the description, they're making these imaging decisions, right? So it's an imaging model, and they've totally removed the images, and still it cheats and gets the right answer. So that kind of tells you right off the bat something's broken. Scores stay above 20% guess rate without images. So text patterns are often drive the answers. Shuffling answers order changes prediction a lot, which exposes position and format bias rather than robust reasoning. Replacing a distractor with unknown does not stop the models from guessing instead of abstaining with evidence. Oh, I guess my alarm's telling me it's time to wake up. You know, I'm spending the morning here with you guys if my alarm's telling me to wake up. Swapping in a lookalike image that matches a wrong option makes accuracy collapse. Chain of thought often sounds confident while citing features that are not present, which means the explanations are unfaithful. So he goes on to explain a lot of this, and he breaks down the whole model, right? And he's got this all highlighted out. Now, this is another article about it, but he talks about that, so ChenX can detect pneumonia with greater accuracy than a panel of board-certified radiologists. It is an AI model released in 2017, trained on more than 100,000 chest x-rays. It is fast, free, and can run on a single consumer-grade CPU. A hospital can use it to classify new scans in under seconds. So they're saying, then why is it that people, then, and he's saying this is in 2024, 78% of all cleared AI-enabled medical devices were for radiology. So radiology is, oops, my head's in the way. Radiology is definitely where this is exploding, right? We're seeing this huge explosion, right? All other devices, so medical devices in general have obviously exploded, but you see that radiology is the big one, right? Where we're using AI-enabled devices. So this article is saying that radiology is a field field optimized for human replacement, where digital inputs, pattern recognition tasks, and clear benchmarks predominate. In 2016, they said he declared that people should stop training radiologists now. But what this article is pointing out is that demand for human labor is higher than ever. In 2025, American Diagnostic Radiology Residency Program offered a record 1,200 positions across all radiology specialists, a 4% increase from 2024. So if we're seeing this kind of an explosion, right, and yet we're also seeing, and this isn't a lie, that radiology is exploding too, what's going on here, right? And this is the demand for radiology here. So, three things this explains. First, while models beat humans on benchmarks, the standardized testing designed to measure AI performance, they struggle to replicate this performance in hospital conditions. So, I think it's interesting. Test versus reality, right? Second, attempts to give models more tasks have run into legal hurdles, right? So, people don't want AI being the one to read their x-rays. Third, even when they do diagnose accurately, models replace only a small share of a radiologist's job. What? You're saying that AI only replaces a small percent of the human? This is astounding, right? Like, we've only been saying this for like 2 years here on the channel. So, this is just what's really interesting because it sounds incredible. Medical AI has finally arrived, and doctors should be worried about their jobs a little bit. But here's the catch. Industry experts argue about what's going on here. And that's partly, I blame a lot of these AI companies. They're gaming the benchmark so hard that passing a test and practicing medicine are totally different skills. Just ask any doctor who's been through residency. I've seen this pattern in software development too. Developers ace coding test interviews, but then struggle to actually produce real systems, right? Test measures are one narrow thing, but we're using it to make sweeping claims about general capabilities. I get this question a lot of times, and I went through this actually with a couple different clients this week. When you're building software, there's three parts to it. There's the humans, the technology, and there's the process, right? So even if AI were to replace the technology, that's one of the three parts of building software. So researchers ran stress tests on the 6 of the top AI models across major medical benchmarks, and the results are shocking. Leading systems guessed correctly even when key inputs like medical images were removed. This tells me that they're gaming the system. So, that's a huge problem, right? High benchmark performance may not reflect true multimodal understanding, but instead arise from spurious cues or memorized associations. Models are learned to game the test, not to understand medicine. When answer options are recorded, when answer options are reordered, accuracy significantly drops. Meaning, if I say A, B, C, and it's like, and it gives you a great answer every single time, but then I say C, B, A, and it fails, that tells you it's not really understanding, it's gaming it, right? Real doctors don't confuse when you present multiple choice answers in a different order. I built a lot of AI systems over my time, and this pattern of shortcut learning is one of the biggest failures that I see. We optimize for metrics that we measure, but not the capability we actually need. So there's a lot of people. So back in 2016, I just mentioned this in one of the articles. Jeffrey Hinton said people should stop training radiologists now. But in 2025, American Diagnostic Radiology Residency programs offered a record 1,200 positions, up 4% from the previous year. So average radiologist salaries hit 520,000. That's 48% higher than 2015. That means that in a decade, the growth has more than doubled, or salary percentages have more than doubled. So if AI was really replacing radiologists, we'd see the opposite trend: fewer jobs and lower pay. This is what I've been predicting in software as well. People are like, AI are going to replace all the developers. Look, we're not going to see this, folks. It's going to become a new tool that people use to do their job. So a 2012 study found that diagnostics account for just 36% of radiologists' time. And automating one task doesn't eliminate a profession. It changes what the profession focuses on. So here's what separate benchmarks from bedside. AI accuracy can drop by as much as 20% when tested on data from a new hospital. So all they did was take the same thing, move it over to a new hospital, and accuracy immediately dropped 20%. Tells you it's gaming the system. Now, favorite thing you can do for me here is to leave a comment down below, because I'm curious to hear what you guys think about all of this. I love to read the comments, and I absolutely read every single one. So in 2024, an analysis found 38% of reviewed models were tested on data from a single institution. So one model kept misidentifying surgical staples as brain hemorrhages. Now, that's not a minor oops, it's catastrophic. Only 40% of radiologists are using AI at all in their practice. Now, part of the reason for this adoption that's slow is for a good reason. Part of it's for legal reasons, right? A lot of people don't want AI reading their stuff. The engineering challenges of real-world deployments are massive. Different equipment, varied imaging quality, diverse patient populations. So as a fractional CTO, I've seen countless AI pilots that work great in demos, but fall short and fall apart when you hit production. So benchmarks vary really widely in what that they truly measure, yet are treated interchangeably. So we're comparing apples to oranges and calling it progress. Microsoft Diagnostic Systems correctly diagnosed up to 85% of complex NEJM cases, over 4 times higher than experienced physicians. But that's in a controlled research setting with carefully curated cases, not the chaos of an actual emergency room. Different benchmark tests different things: visual reasoning, text comprehension, memorization, but we lump them all together. It's like saying someone is a great developer because they can solve LeetCode code problems while ignoring that they can't actually build anything maintainable. So models fabricate convincing yet flawed reasoning and produce hallucinated or implausible rationales. In medicine, a confident wrong answer is more dangerous than admitting uncertainty. And that's one of the big problems with using AI in medical. In software development, if I do things, there's checks put into place for code reviews, for testing, for a lot of different things to be able to catch some of those problems. In medical, if a doctor misdiagnoses an X-ray, it can be life and death differences. And so that's a huge problem, right? Because there's not those checks and balances. So reasoning models may improve benchmark score while still producing hallucinated results. And that's part of the problem. Is generative AI is designed to give you a result or generate one. That's why we call it generative AI. So the problem is they're trying to use generative AI for a lot of these different systems. And the problem is you don't want it to generate something. You want to diagnose something. You actually want it to degenerate something. So I've tested these systems, and they'll describe medical features, images that simply aren't there. The problem isn't just wrong answers. It's wrong answers delivered with complete confidence. When your AI confidently hallucinates a diagnosis, people can have serious medical complications. This isn't a software bug. It's a critical safety issue. Now, I'm curious to hear what your experience is with AI confidence versus accuracy. I love having these discussions, so drop a comment down below. So AI doesn't understand the context either. That's part of the problem. Is AI is used to just its strength is the fact that it can take massive amounts of data and trim it down very quickly. The problem is what it needs to actually know is like this one thing. It needs to take the context of what somebody's saying. So if somebody comes in with a set of diagnosis, and that's going to matter for the X-ray, right? So if you're just giving it the X-ray and giving it some little snips of data, frequently there's all the background story that's not there. So if somebody comes in and tells you a story, and a medical intern is sitting there kind of writing down some diagnostic notes, they put it into the system and expect that to be read. A doctor is going to have listened to the story and understand things to be looking for. So AI doesn't understand the context. Machines don't know if finding is significant for a patient at that moment. It can't weigh patient history or it lacks accountability and is incapable of empathy. Real medical decisions require integrating dozens of data points that AI systems just simply don't have. So researchers found no meaningful link between radiologists' accuracy in the lab and accuracy in live patients. The human element isn't optional in healthcare. It's the foundation of safe, effective treatment. So this is why even though we're seeing these crazy high benchmarks, why we aren't seeing this being rolled out en masse. And it mirrors what we're seeing in software. AI can write code, but it can't understand the business context that makes code valuable. So AI is a tool. It's not a replacement. And I think radiologists are starting to use these as a tool to more quickly diagnose, but they're not going to use it to replace radiologists. And that's why we're seeing this field still continue to grow. And I think that's what we're going to see everywhere. And that's what I've been predicting for a long time. If we want AI to earn trust in healthcare, we must demand more than leaderboard wins. We must hold systems accountable for robustness, sound reasoning, and alignment with real medical demands. This means building evaluation frameworks that actually test medical reasoning, not gaming benchmarks. Stanford's MedAgent Bench evaluates whether AI can use electronic health records for real clinical tasks. We need benchmarks that mirror actual clinical workflows, patient consultation, multi-step diagnostics, handling uncertainties. The future isn't AI replacing doctors. It's AI helping these overworked doctors to be able to take some of the grunt work out and to be able to do things quickly. So don't trust benchmark scores alone. Dig into what they actually mean. Build systems that admit uncertainty instead of hallucinating confidence. These are some of the things that we've got to work to. Now, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm wrong? As always, make sure you leave a comment down below and make sure you like and subscribe. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers as well as build custom software solutions for companies. So check out startuphack.com/Spencer, and here's some great information about our services.
Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment. Perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Startup Hack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out startuphack.com/Spencer.